Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
This is a special Sunday episode of Cut the Clutter in the honor of Neeraj Chopra for his gold medal winning feat at Tokyo Olympics. India's first ever not just gold medal but medal of any color in track and field or athletics as we call it. So today, very briefly, I will tell you about 5 things. It's an opportunity to visit a sport that we don't talk very much about, but which is the mother and father, the mummy and daddy of all sport. That is track and field athletics. So I will tell you about 5 things today. One, of course, I will tell you just a little bit about Neeraj Chopra and javelin throwing. Although I am sure everybody in this country is now an expert. People will even say why someone went wrong and what someone did right, right? You also have an opinion, I am sure, but a little bit. Second, I will tell you about what is athletics. What is athletics and why does it matter so much? And who's an athlete? That's a very good question. Now, and I got myself into trouble over that question. I will tell you that also. Third, why is this medal so unusual? And why is it so special, so unique in the world? Why is it so important? And I will tell you some facts that will surprise you. Fourth, how come a great tradition in India has been sort of fading for some time, but Neeraj Chopra's success could revive it. That tradition is not javelin throwing, that tradition is something else. That tradition is about one of the greatest nurseries of talent for Indian track and field. And fifth, I will also tell you very briefly about some of the greatest Indian athletes, Olympic athletes. And once again, when I say Olympic athletes, in this context, I am limiting them to track and field people. And all of you now know about Milkha Singh, Gurbachan Singh Randhawa, but they've been more in 70s, 80s, and subsequently. A few of them I will mention. This will not be a definitive or final list. So don't say that you left out so and so and so and so. I will mention a few prominent names. So first of all, javelin throwing. Now, one very interesting fact, when you see pictures, and you will see this Twitter handle called Indian History Pick, which I follow all the time and which picks out brilliant nuggets from pictures of the past, from archives. They put out a picture of Uwe Horn. Uwe Horn is a German. He is the coach of Neeraj Chopra. Uwe Horn's world record of 104 meters 80 centimeter, 104.8 meters. That is a world record that nobody has been able to break. Now you might say he threw 104.8 and now Neeraj Chopra is only throwing 88. I mean, his career best is 88.07, but now he only threw 87 point something. So what is this? 87.87 and a half and little bit thereabouts, and 104.8. And also, if you see the world record as it's listed now in the name of Jan Zelezny, that world record is only 98.48 meters, and that's a 1996 world record. So you will say 1984 Uwe Horn threw 104.8. That means in every other field, global records are improving, timings are reducing, distances are improving on track and field. How come in javelin the reverse has happened? How are people throwing less? So thereby lies the most fascinating tale of javelin throwing. Javelin throwing had become a little bit dangerous because javelin throwers, because their distances were increasing, technology was increasing, technique was improving, people were getting more competitive, there was more competition available. So people's distances were going up and people were routinely reaching 100 meters and above. And once Uwe Horn reached 104.8, a bunch of things happened. First thing was that what should be the length of your track and field stadium or arena where you are throwing. Suppose somebody throws 120 tomorrow, 110 tomorrow. If this thing coming down hits somebody, that person is see you later, gone, right? Because it's a spear coming down at a great momentum because it goes up, it has a certain weight, it's 800 grams, and it's coming down like this. It will kill a person, no chance, or maybe injure a person very badly. So they had to do something for safety. For that safety, they had to reduce the distance it traveled. Second, they also figured that because these javelins were thrown and they went like in a flight for a long distance. By the time they fell, a lot of them fell flat like this. So for a javelin throw to be fair, the javelin point has to hit the ground, it has to go into the ground. But in this case, some would scratch it a little, some would fall flat. Referees would call many throws foul, people will protest, that tamasha was going on. So for that a reform was carried out. The reform was not to reduce the weight or size of the javelin, but to shift its center of gravity ahead just a little bit, just about 4 points, just a little bit. Also, the length of the javelin ahead of the center of gravity was reduced, but the length behind was increased accordingly. So the overall length remained the same. But what happened was, when the center of gravity shifted ahead, and when the point ahead of that center of gravity became shorter, then the javelin, when it came down, began to take a more vertical flight. So two things happened. One, it covered less distance, it went less distance, and second, it came down a little bit more vertically like this instead of coming like this, and so you got more and more throws where it was easier for referees to say what is fair and what is foul. If you see Neeraj Chopra's throw yesterday, see it goes up like this, goes to 87.5 plus meters, and it comes down like this and the tip goes into the track. So it's very clear that it's a fair throw. So that is what happened, and that is what reduced the distances to which human beings can throw the javelin. So today's world record is about 98.48 for men, that is from Czech Republic, Jan Železný, and also for women it's Barbara Spotakova, 72.28 meters, and she is also a Czech. So Czechs have some kind of tradition in javelin throwing. Remember, the silver and the bronze winners behind Neeraj Chopra at the Olympics were also Czech. So that tradition continues there, and these traditions continue. India's last two national record holders in javelin were also from the state of Haryana. So maybe there's nothing special about the Haryanvis that they throw these javelins so well. Maybe it is just a tradition that came up there, just as a tradition came up in Czech Republic. So a bunch of javelin throwers came in, and I am sure in the wake of Neeraj Chopra, more javelin throwers will come in. So Uwe Horn's record of 100.8 is now called the eternal record, because he set up that record with the earlier javelin. Now nobody throws that earlier original javelin. Now people throw the new javelin. So it's unlikely that somebody will go to 100.8 with the new javelin, although you never know with human beings and also sporting excellence. Maybe at some point it will be, but today Uwe Horn's record is called an eternal record. And I'll tell you a tragedy. Uwe Horn was then from East Germany. Then Germany was divided. He set his world record then in 1984. 1984 was Los Angeles Olympics, but he could not win a medal. Why? Because East Germany did not participate. Why did East Germany not participate? Because the entire Western Bloc boycotted the Moscow Olympics of 1980, protesting against Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. So 1984 the Olympics were Los Angeles. So at that point the Eastern Bloc, that is the Soviet bloc, decided to boycott the Olympics in Los Angeles. So Uwe Horn could not go there. So now he never had the satisfaction of winning an Olympic gold, but now he can draw that satisfaction from the success or the victory of his ward, that is Neeraj Chopra. Now second, athletics, and what is an athlete? So 3 years back I recorded a Cut the Clutter episode with Neeraj Chopra at Delhi's Nehru Stadium, and after that I said, in fact in the headline I published a text of that, and that text is available on our website now. You can see it. I'll share it with you in English and in Hindi. I'll share the links with you. And I said, meet the greatest athlete India has produced for now, and it is not Virat Kohli. Now that immediately drew protests. That's the reason I said I got myself into trouble over the definition of an athlete. So the first angry note came from Abhinav Bindra, who is a top class sports person. He'd won a gold medal as much as Neeraj Chopra has won a gold medal, no doubts about it. But he said only one world class athlete. This shows a lot of ignorance. So I wondered what is going on. Then Gautam Gambhir complained Then some of the other people, well-informed people on sports, particularly some well-known sports journalists also complained. And then I figured how outdated I was in my thinking, because when I learnt to cover sports early on in life, athletics was track and field. Bhagna, daudna, koodna, chhalang marna, fenkna, that was athletics. But now, in a wider definition, every sports person is called an athlete. So Virat Kohli is an athlete, Abhinav Bindra is an athlete. But that knowledge had left me by. At the same time, if you ask me, athletics is athletics, because nothing else is called athletics. Athletics is track and field. That is the mummy daddy of all sport. In fact, track and field, that is athletics, has 48 gold medal events in the Olympics. That is 11 more than swimming, which is the second biggest, and more than twice as much as cycling, which is 22, and much more than archery and shooting, etc., etc. Also, athletics, that is track and field, is a lot more fair. Now you might say swimming, but how many countries in the world can afford to have sufficient number of Olympic-sized swimming pools for people to train? I know that with athletics also tracks are an issue, but tracks are not the same as Olympic swimming pools, the maintenance, etc., etc. And also, if you see the African countries, long distance running, a lot of it can happen without facilities as well, because your natural talent comes out. So athletics is a lot fairer. How fair it is, I will tell you. 48 athletics gold medal, I tell you, and that is where I answer my next question. Why is this medal so special for India? Because if you look at this list of 48 Olympic athletics golds, athletics, in my book, athletics, so when I say in my old fashioned way, athlete is one who does athletics, but I know that in the modern world, everybody who plays any sport is an athlete. A shooter is an athlete, maybe even a chess player is an athlete, a badminton player is an athlete, a cricketer is an athlete. But of these 48 gold medals, think of the countries which haven't got any. Britain hasn't got any, Australia hasn't got any, Germany hasn't got any gold, France hasn't got any gold, Canada has got 2 golds, right? China has got only 2 golds. China, which is trailing America by just 1 in the overall gold medals tally, got only 2 gold medals in athletics, because I told you athletics is much fairer, the field is much wider. In fact, it's also a discipline in which African countries do so well. At the Asian level, you can also see that countries like Bahrain and Qatar do very well, but that is also vicariously a story of Africa doing so well, because these countries love to have medals, they have the money, petrodollars, so they go out to Africa, get Africa's finest sprinters, runners to change their citizenship, they gift them Bahrain and Qatar citizenship, and that's how they build their gold medal tally at the Asian level. But once again, it is an area where Africans excel. Why is India's medal so special? That's also because of the gap between the Asian and international levels. If you look at any of the records, see, one of the big successes of these Olympics that we are not talking about sufficiently is the success of our men's 4x400 relay team. Men's 4x400 relay team finished 4x400, that is 1600 meters total, but 4 runners, one after the other. They finished it just a little over 3, just fractionally, just a microsecond over 3 minutes. That set an Asian record, a new Asian record. In fact, if you look at the history or the list of Asian athletics records, at this point India has only 2. Even Neeraj Chopra does not have the Asian record. That Asian record was set up in the past, I think, by somebody from Taipei. That was somewhere near 90 meters. One of them has just been set, that is the 4x400 relay team of Indian men. That is 3 minutes and just a tiny microsecond above it. But if you look at the world record there, it is 2.54. So world record is 6 seconds ahead of the Asian record. So even while they set the new Asian record, Indian men's relay team did not make the finals because competition is so heavy in athletics. That's why a gold medal in athletics matters so much more. Now, if you look at the 4 members of the Indian men's relay team, that is Mohammad Anas Yahya, who is India's topmost sprinter right now, Amos Jacob, Arokia Rajiv and Noah Nirmal Tom. So these 4 then gave us the timing of 3 minutes 0.0025 seconds and yet did not qualify for the finals. That shows you the level of competition, and that's why winning a medal in track and field, the queen and king, the mummy and daddy of all sport, is such a big deal. It is the first medal in India's history, in India's, say, from 1928 onwards. Let's not go back to 1904 and all. 1928 onwards, and that is a gold. That tells you what a prodigy Neeraj Chopra is. That also tells you how special this medal is. Now you know what, in the honor of outdoor sports and athletics, we shifted outside today in spite of the monsoon, and it's raining a little bit. So I'll see, just as they go on playing cricket in England despite the rain, I will carry on a little bit, but maybe if it gets too much, we'll shift indoors, or maybe we'll shift in the shade. Now, Indian Olympian athletes, athletics, track and field athletes of the past. Remember, Anju Bobby George finished 5th at the Olympics, long jump. India's best long jumper, also the only Indian woman to win a world championship. She won a world championship. In fact, she was number 2, and then the number 1 tested positive for dope, so she got the gold medal. So she was the reigning world champion for some time. At the Olympics, unfortunately, she finished 5th. That's been happening to a lot of Indian athletes. Then you have Sri Ram Singh, who was a middle distance runner, Sri Ram Singh Shekhawat. In the 70s, the same sort of Munich, Montreal Olympic era, and there were 2 long distance runners, brilliant long distance runners, Shivnath Singh and Harichand. They were also rivals. Shivnath Singh set a marathon record, an Indian marathon record of 2 hours, 12 minutes something in 1976. That record has still not been broken. He was a wonderful man. I've covered him running. Very unfortunately, he died very young at 56, probably because of hepatitis B, which wasn't yet treated as well as it is now, and for which there were no vaccines at that point, which is the case now. So if you haven't been vaccinated, please go get yourself vaccinated and your children for hepatitis B as well. Now, what is common between these people? What is the one thread that I thought I will draw when I told you about the one tradition, unfortunately, which has been dying in India? And that tradition is, as I told you, it's not about a sport. It's not about javelin throwing. I won't even say dying. It's been fading, and I'm hoping that Neeraj Chopra's success will reverse that. That is Indian Armed Forces being the great nursery of Indian track and field talent. Track and field needs strength, right? Armed Forces nurture strength. They also have space. They also have time, patience. Every soldier has to be an athlete in some way or the other. Milkha Singh, etc. All the great Pan Singh Tomar, all the great track and field athletes. Now I have to specify every time I say athlete. Track and field athletes have mostly come from the army, armed forces. Lately that hasn't been happening, but now we might see a little change, because Neeraj Chopra is a Subedar in the army. I listed for you the 4 members of the Indian relay team, which set a new Asian record, one of the 2 Asian records on the books right now. The other one is for a shot putter. I will tell you about him. That is Mohammad Anas Yahya, Amos Jacob, Arokia Rajiv, Noah Nirmal Tom. You know what? To set an Asian record in athletics, India had to call out Army, Navy and Air Force, because Mohammad Anas Yahya is from the Navy, but Arokia Rajiv and Noah Nirmal Tom are from the Army and the Air Force. So again, an example of armed forces producing sporting talent, yet again an athletic talent again. Because one of the great tragedies for India has been the decline of Fauji sport, which is why some of the greatest boxers in the past came from the armed forces. Kaur Singh, heavyweight boxer, he also, he was the Asian champion. Nobody could stand in front of him. That was the time when Pakistani boxing was doing so well, but he beat the Pakistani boxer with ease, a top Pakistani boxer in heavyweight. He was a big guy. He also fought against Muhammad Ali in an exhibition match in Delhi in 1980 February, I think, when Muhammad Ali came to India. And after that, he said, "Bhai, ਉਹਦੇ ਮੁੱਕੇ ਬੜੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਨੇ," right? ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਹੈ, he's a bit shorter than me, but you know, he gets away from my reach. He's so fast on his feet. Very nice guy also. The army. Similarly, Dinko Singh from the Air Force, again Asian champion, nobody could come near him. From the Navy. Now, even in contact sports, armed forces have lately declined. Armed forces, until not long ago, used to have a very good Ranji Trophy cricket team, services. They even gave a captain to India, Colonel Hemu Adhikari. But that's not been happening lately. So I am hoping that these changes now will bring about the difference and bring the armed forces, not just army, navy, air force, sports to life. And you know, when three of them combine, then India can send an Asian record in these Tokyo Olympics, even if it doesn't get a medal. And once again, among Asian records, athletics, that is track and field, India has only 2 records. One is this 4x400 men's relay that's just been set, and second is a man called Tejinder Toor for shot put, and shot put, that is 21.49 meters.